Well, hello, everyone. My name is Kathy Sabeda, mortgage planner and proud veteran. What do we have in common? Well, we have two first time homebuyers from back in the day. That realtor was Patricia Henderson, who took very good care of them in Los Angeles, and I was the mortgage planner for them. What's the purpose of our meeting today? Is to find out COVID, what's really happening with you? How do you feel as being a homeowner now, and your take on how it's affecting your life? So, Mr. Wendell is a pastor and Jose is a teacher. Both are located in Los Angeles. Thank you for joining us. And Patricia,
Thank you.
what's your tagline?
Oh, I'm from All Stars Realty, where problem solving is what we do.
There you go.
All righty.
So, Jose, being a teacher, and you got two teachers in the household, how is COVID affecting you and how you're managing work and family?
Well, like my daughter, she's been doing online classes every day.
Okay.
So for her, it's working pretty good. I know right now she misses being around her friends.
Right.
So I think the social distancing is probably the toughest.
Right.
But all the teachers, they communicated when they were going to be online through their school website and where to go and the access and the code and all.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty easy. And she gets on there every day. It's almost like a regular school day.
Okay.
And she does have time to, talk to her friends. So I think that's very important because just being the three of us here and with nobody else, I think it's tough on the social distancing on her.
Okay. And then how about you and your wife?
Janine, she's been doing a lot of online classes,
Okay.
teaching through Zoom,
Right.
not Zoom, Zoom, yes. And so it's been working well for her. It's tough because some of the students can't access online as well as we've been distributing. Well, the school distributed Chromebooks to the students, and the tough part is some of them don't have internet. So when I call them, the parents were saying that they were trying to access Spectrum or whatever else, whatever other company, but it's tough because like thousands of people, thousands of students trying to get access to online, and it gets them overwhelmed.
Right.
So I think it's a little difficult for the students because one, if they don't have technology, and second, if they don't have access to internet. And so it's going to be interesting to see how much work we get back.
Right.
Even though we gave them a lot of work for like 3-4 weeks,
Uh-huh.
but it's going to be longer than 4 weeks.
Right.
And it'll be interesting to see
It'll be
how
interesting.
they access and, turn in their work.
Pastor Wendell, how's it going with you and how it's affecting you and your congregation and life itself?
Well, it's definitely a change. I tell everybody I am not a homebody at all by any stretch of the imagination. So I hate being sequestered and held up in my home. But that's a small and minor inconvenience considering there are lots of people out there who are very ill and who may have and also lost their lives. It has presented some challenges, of course, for church work because much of church work is done in person, serving the community. It's meeting, it's gathering. That's what congregation means, right? But on the other hand, it has created some additional opportunities for us to reach people that have not been to church for a while, who have moved away and still want to fellowship a little bit, who otherwise just can't get there due to work or whatnot. So it has presented some opportunities as well.
Okay, great. And then how are you using, I think you told me you were using Facebook Live for your services?
Yes, we're using Facebook Live. Yeah.
And so how do you contact the individuals so that they know that you're here? You have an email list, or how did you reach them?
Yeah. Good old-fashioned emails and text messages, and we even have a few seniors who make phone calls and let people know. Look for the emails. Yeah.
Okay, great. And has there been an increase of people showing up, or is it about the same, or it's hard to tell?
I think there are a few more people. Yes.
Right.
A few more.
Okay.
There are a few more. Yeah.
All righty. And Patricia, I know we had had a realtor panel, but just on the personal side of life, how is it affecting you as far as COVID and you and your family?
Well, it's interesting because realtors have been doing things virtually for a while. We've been sort of preparing for this moment.
Right.
And like all of our transactions are done on the internet, electronically. And then now we have what we call the virtual tours and the virtual open houses. So we don't even have to go and show it, you know, it's all on the internet.
Okay.
And I'm interested to know about Reverend Miller's inspection, his appraisal, I think it was, and how the appraiser was dressed. Was he clad in all of his, you know, safety garment?
No, he just had a mask on, and I put, you know, a little handkerchief over my face just for his comfort, I guess, too, just double protection. But that was about it. And we maintained a little bit of distance. He wasn't even there 5 minutes. A couple measurements, a few pictures, walked around, thumbs up, and left. That was about it.
Great.
Nice gentleman, though. Very nice gentleman.
And that's interesting, right? Because each person does it differently, right? So with that being said, they usually tell you they want you out of the place, right? But each person's going to do whatever they have to do to protect themselves, your safety and their safety. And obviously he minimized what he was touching in your space, and you just wiped everything down after he was done. We were very fortunate because he got his appraisal done today, and we already got the appraisal today. It's being reviewed by the team, but that's kind of interesting. So for me, if anybody was wondering how COVID is affecting me as a person.
Yes, we were wondering.
Of
I
course,
don't know if you can tell I'm a happy-go-lucky person. So I like to be around people, but at the same time, I'm okay with not being around people. And because I've been doing videos for so many years, I've been having a one-way conversation, and I'm lucky that I haven't been answering myself back. So, and I'm staying with a friend of mine who cooks deliciously. So my maintaining of my goal for my weight and working out, I'm on a little seesaw here going. So I had a conversation, say, hey, listen, I'm glad that we're doing this, but next week I got to make sure that I'm just more conscious of what I'm eating, because I don't want to be on that little, I've seen a lot of them, they open up the refrigerator, they're slim, and then they close the refrigerator and they're bigger than when they started. So that's what I'm making sure that we take care of it. So the interesting thing is that all four of us are, luckily, one, health-wise, we're still have another safe day. And then two, we are financially somewhat secure considering what's going on with the rest of the world, right? So Jose, you have two teachers that based on technology are allowed to be able to work and still maintain your lifestyle, which I think is great.
Yes.
Let me ask you about, you know, because now that we are do you, because it's different because you have 3 people in the household, right? What would be the major change that you would say that you guys are experiencing?
Just being here all together all the time. But you know what? It's good because my wife, she's working in one room, like her office. My daughter works in her room.
Okay.
And I'm in the living room.
Okay.
So we take breaks, and you know, we try to take walks as well.
Okay.
So I think it's helping us to spend more time together, because we're not getting home at 5 p.m. or having to get up at like 5:45 and drop off at school and be on the freeway and all that. With all that stress trying to get to work on time, you won't be late. But it's been working. It's been going. It's fine, you know, because we don't mind being here.
Okay.
And we do, like, we'll do some, you know, watch shows, play video games of Mario Racing on the Switch. So, you know, we try to do things together, and I think if you can say something positive is we're spending more time together.
Right.
So, yeah.
And Pastor, because I know you're single but you're out there trying to help the community, what would be one of the, right? This is our new normal, right?
Right.
Right.
I think one of the benefits, one thing that I'm learning is I am, you mentioned food. I think I'm eating a little bit better actually, because I'm not swinging by and buying the fast food and stuff. And I'm making sure I'm thinking about how often I'm eating. I'm eating better meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I am exercising a little bit more, being intentional about that. And it's helped me to at least experience my neighborhood in a different way, because up until this point, I've been driving in and driving out. And now it's making me walk through. I've even learned that La Palma is not even the original name of my street, because there's a stamp somewhere down there. Interesting fact, right? So just interesting things about the neighborhood. Yeah, I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
I think it's had 3 names, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But it's been very, very interesting. Learning a lot about the neighborhood, exercising, everything. Yeah.
So let me ask you your take, and then I'll have Patricia go last for this. So as far as real estate is concerned and being a homeowner now versus renting, how do you think that makes it different with you in regards to what's happening with the rest of the world? Jose?
Being a homeowner, man, I think it's good to be a homeowner because we don't have to worry about the price of rent going up, and how we're gonna make. I mean, we're blessed that we still have our jobs and we're still getting paid.
Right.
So that makes a big difference as well. And knowing that this is our home and nobody's gonna. I mean, we're gonna take care of it. We're gonna maintain it. But it provides, I think, security
Right.
for us,
Mhm.
and just knowing that this is our place. Compared to other people, I know you see at the news, they're just locked in and they're pretty limited in space, especially if they're in an apartment or smaller place.
Mhm.
Like in Europe, it's pretty small, the places.
Yeah.
But here we have quite a bit of space in our backyard. We work outside, and we can even just sit out there. And but I think it's it's a good time. I mean, it's good being a homeowner
Mhm.
and actually being able to make our payments as well.
Pastor Wendell?
Yeah, the same here. I am glad for equity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at least I'm still building on my investment, even though the economy and the world market is taking a turn there. I do have more space than I did when I was here in LA. I had a studio apartment, which was about as large as a big closet. And now I do have a little bit more room to stretch out in times when I do have to be at home. So it's been very, very good.
Okay. Patricia?
We were talking, to add another question, we're talking about the new normal.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering from all of you, what are you thinking about when you are looking forward? And how will this all change our perspective, and how will it change how we look at the world and each other? What are your thoughts? Reverend Miller, would you start us off?
Well, lots to say on that. I think we are in maybe we're entering into a more compassionate phase. Tragedy has a way of uniting people, and differences that may have existed at other times don't exist now because we're all interested in helping one another. It appears that's one change. I think that it's also going to change the way I live in my home in a way, because now I'm going to have to be able to find places, make sure that it's comfortable enough to work there, and I won't have to depend upon leaving the place to come back and live, which means I'm going to have to get rid of some clothes to make room for some files, which is not so fun. But I'll definitely live in my home a little bit differently, and I think I'm much more aware of my brother or sister in humanity out there. Yeah.
Good. And Mr. Jose?
I think with all this, it's making us spend more time with family. I've noticed that, family members that don't really communicate as often. Now we're communicating through text, through technology, and actually talking to each other, just personally, and appreciating our parents a lot more, our family members, especially our parents, like I'm always checking up on my mom and dad. Like, hey, do you need anything? Or I go over there, I take them to their doctor appointments. My dad's been very sick, so I've been pretty blessed, to have this time off, and nobody else has to take time off from work to take him to the appointments, because I'm not the only one who takes them, but I have more flexibility, and so it's allowing me to spend more time with my parents, which I think sometimes take it for granted, and like, hey, they're getting up in age, and I need to spend more time with them, and like the pastor said, with our neighbors as well, we walk around and we're saying hi and everything. I think it's making us more compassionate toward people, and making us, I think, more aware of, who our neighbors are, making sure they're okay. Because I do tell them, like, hey, if I can do anything for you, we're here, And as far as work, man, it's forcing us to use technology to teach a lot more,
Right.
because this might not be the only time we're going to be teaching through Zoom or something through the internet. So I think it's forcing us to sharpen our skills as far as technology that we didn't know, like, oh man, now I have to learn this because I have to teach this way, and which is fine, you know? And for example, like right now it's raining. If the kids, they don't have to go anywhere because if they have the technology, then they can just do it at home. So I guess in a way, it's something positive that's coming out of this is that it's forcing us to learn technology and use it as a tool to communicate and to teach with others, with students and everything. So I think it's just preparing us more maybe for the future because, you know, technology is always changing, education is changing. And if there's another way we're going to be doing more teaching through technology, then it's just preparing us better for it.
Right.
And Miss Kathy, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are, my new normal is going to be one, I am now in the social media world that some of us have been fighting for a couple of years, right? Because we now have a better understanding of how they are using it. We're using it for different reasons because one, we're using it for work, right? So one is sustaining our lifestyle so that we can maintain that. And then two, it then bridges the gap, I think, with some of the generations to allow us to understand that, hey, this is who you are and hey, it's okay. And but I think it's going to be quite interesting that once this, it's going to take time for us to recover. So will we still be managing that social distancing when we go out to public areas for the first couple of months? Right. We're provided that freedom. I was talking about, hey, I'm going to go to San Francisco. I want to see some of my clients. I got to go to Los Angeles and go see you guys. And, you know, am I going to be on a plane with someone coughing in back of me? I think I'm going to be a little more self-conscious about those kind of things. So it's interesting because they put us in just like sardine-like, and it's, I think the other thing that's made me more aware of this environment is we definitely have a more separation of have and have-nots. Those individuals like us, we're very fortunate. We are part of the people who are stressing, but we're not stressing about the finances, right? Where am I going to have money to pay my rent? Do I have money to pay my supplies? That is a different level of stress that other parts of the community are dealing with, not to mention illness, right? So the information that we have is that we are now, as all of us are saying, is that there's a different level of compassion of us coming together. And when you look at some of the companies and industries that are booming now because of this, and then you look at the other industries that are not benefiting. So then we're going to have to bridge this gap as we move forward, right? As we recover it, because all of us here have to help here, to have to help here, to have to help here. And we all have to come together. And I, like you're saying, everyone's saying that's what we're doing. But once this is over and said and done, then we will have to make sure that we bring the community together, right? That's, to me, it's the hardest part because we're fortunate. And so I have people that I'm donating some of my time, my money to help them go through this gap. But at the same time, it's not charity, right?
Yes, yes.
It is, but it isn't, right? Because you got to make sure who you're managing these things with, right? Because people are nice, and then some people want to take advantage of us.
That's right.
So in all honesty, so that was really the purpose of this. We just wanted to have a conversation. I'm glad that you're homeowners now, because as the two of you have mentioned, equity is key, right? Because that's one of the things that renters cannot contend with, right? I got to pay rent 4 years from now. I have nothing to show for it. You guys, right? Because Wendell, your house is how long you've had your condo now?
2 years.
2 years, and already you're taking advantage that you're gonna refinance, right? Have your payments less and get some cash out. There's nothing you can do. And then Jose's doing the same. He's gonna keep his equity in his home. He's just gonna lower his payments and then use that money to continue on. Because I think that's the other thing that people are learning is what was I doing with my money? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Where's my money? Because do I have money for the next 4 months? Do I have money to sustain myself? And again, we have, you know, the working poor that we have to contend with ourselves and try to help them. But that's where Jose, you guys come in with education, because education is the key, right, to helping them not have those type of positions. So, do you guys have any questions for myself or Patricia?
I do not.
Okay, well, great. Well, good. So then that was the purpose of this. We just wanted to have a conversation knowing that you are safe as well, and that the new normal is going to be different for most of us. But at the end
Yes.
of the day, we are all coming together as a community. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I look forward to going to Los Angeles when I can.
All right.
right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
You too.